Welcome to Peep Game TV and Keeping It Real Team Collaboration. I'm your man SRD, aka Shadi Ali. Got my man Jay Sean, aka Mr. F Love.
All right.
We're here on this Friday night, the 8th of August. So let's get to it, people. All right, so that was a little something new that we played today. You know,
Yeah, who was
they
that?
can't stop us. We're going to go hard, Jay. They can't
How,
stop us.
nah, they
We're going to
can't
go
stop.
hard.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's get right into it, man. So
Oh,
you went down to ATL. You went
yeah,
down to,
man.
to Georgia, right? You know, the Patterson, Georgia reunion type thing, the dirty South, the deep South. I mean, is it still the deep South? Is it still the dirty South?
Um, you what? If you know me, most people know I love Atlanta. I love it, and that's something when you love a place. Because I'm based in Patterson, New Jersey, but you was born and raised in Patterson, New Jersey, and now you transition somewhere else. But the transformation from the north to the south, it's a lot different. It's a lot different far as the culture, the nationalities, the way of living. It's so much different. Is it still the same South that I think that it well, I'm only can speak from when I was there from the 70s and the 80s. I think it's a lot different.
Okay, elaborate on that.
It,
What makes it different now than from back then?
uh, because it was a time when one group of people was more advanced than the other group of people, but now if it ain't even, it's the black people is rising high in Atlanta. I'm talking about in Atlanta.
Right. Okay.
Far as the places I went, and it kind of give me an idea of the Black Wall Street.
Right. Right.
I had never seen the Black Wall Street, but I heard of it. So
Okay. So it
I
gave you so it gave you an idea what it would look like actually if you
yeah,
did see it. Okay.
it gave me an idea what Black Wall Street would be. So Atlanta is like Black Wall Street to me.
All right.
Um, it's not the same. It's not the same as it was years ago. The South is not the same. I would say it's on the rise. Now I don't know. You still got to take into perspective that a lot of people from the North is still migrating down there. So I don't want to say that's where it's getting the
The
jazz
boost, the
from.
boost.
I say a boost, but I don't want to say a swag from, because then
Okay.
people down there might get upset if you say. They might say we always had swag. You know, they they
Right,
might
right.
they might say we always had swag. So I don't want to say swag. They got their own swag,
Absolutely.
and we got our own swag. But far as Atlanta Patterson cookout, I made it to one of the events, the cookout on Saturday. I
Right.
missed the all white. I missed the brunch and all that, but I did a hell of a lot of other things, and I
Okay.
went a lot of places. So for me, the South is number one right now.
So tell me, we often hear individuals, ourselves included, say that there's not enough unification between us. So is that the case down there?
No, no, heck, not in Atlanta. We talking about Atlanta? Not at all. I'm just gonna. I know you like to say Moors, but I'm just gonna say blacks for
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. Because for all sakes and purposes, people used to
Yeah.
hearing that us as that.
Uh, the clubs, black owned. Stores, the lounges. You go into the grocery stores. It's all it's all black cashiers, the supervisors, the managers. Um, Gas stations. I mean, well, it's Indians down there. You know, they still doing their thing, but it's just all blacks. It's just all black. I guess that's why they call it Chocolate City. You know what I mean? And I even found out it's a part of Atlanta. I think it's called Eagle Lane or something.
Right.
And the Shack is on that block. And uh, I don't know if it's Shack, maybe Chris Rock, maybe Jermaine Dupri. It's a lot of them, and they all live in the same area. So the South is I love it. Now I know I've been talking about it. My son was like telling me, man, you've been talking about Atlanta
Re,
since the '90s.
relocating there.
Since the '90s, man. I've been
Peace,
talking,
Cash.
but I mean, like I'm not better than nobody, man. Like this, you got people that's addicted to drugs and addicted to gambling, and people just stuck. I just been stuck for a long time, and every time I make my mind up to do something, I'm just stuck. I
Well,
can't explain it.
well, let me kind of help you with that. It's something about Patterson. You know what I mean? That some people get so used to that Patterson vibe where it's difficult to depart from. And I was one of them,
Yeah,
because there was a time where I wouldn't have, I couldn't see myself nowhere else but Patterson,
yeah.
but then, things changed, my mind expanded, and here I am in North Carolina, you know? So, I get it.
Call my phone, man. Why was somebody? Oh, you can see me?
Yeah, I see you now.
Okay, all right, all right.
Kev said he been down there for what? What's that? 18 years. Kevin Harmon.
Oh, what's good, Kev?
Yeah,
18 years.
yeah, he said 18 years.
Shoot,
Yeah,
knowledge. Knowledge. Rennie.
right.
He been down there since '95.
Yeah,
He been gone.
yeah. I mean, and this is what I'm saying. Like some people just, take some, go to a different location and start all over, man.
But well, that's another question you're gonna ask later. I was gonna say something, but my time is coming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My,
No,
my time is coming.
yeah, and I can dig it. It's just. I'm glad to hear that you had a good time down there. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed yourself. You
Man, let
know,
me let me tell you
and
one. Let me say one more thing. I don't mean to cut you off.
go ahead now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know how or why, and I'm not tooting our horn or nothing, but our 17th Ave family, yo, we some tight brothers, man. I don't know how. I don't know how we got like that. I don't know if it was our upbringings. I don't know if it was the nation, 5% nation. I don't know if it was our determined ideas or our motivation or leadership. I don't know. I don't know, but
And
man, we
some
we
of some
we
of all of that. Some of all of that, and some of it they're gonna be able to get the answers in the book, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're gonna be
Oh
able to get
yeah,
some of
yeah,
the
yeah,
answers.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
The book you writing.
yeah, yeah. They're gonna be able to get some of those
That,
answers to
that's
why.
true. That's true. That's true.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
example. Yup.
yeah, that is, yeah, it explain it.
Because I don't know, man.
Yeah,
We just got some we got some serious love amongst each other, man.
yeah. And you said it when you said 17th Ave family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's who we are. We're family, 17th Ave family. That's what we always promoted in our neighborhood, family.
Yep.
That's what the neighborhood was about, family. So why wouldn't we promote family? You know,
Yeah.
family and unity and taking care of each other and looking out for each other. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And really, that's what the younger generation is missing now. Family oriented. So it's time for them to see an example that it really exists because they don't believe it exists. If you don't see it, you don't believe it exists.
I think stepping away from that a little bit, I think that, and I don't want to give people nobody credit, but I don't want to take no credit away from nobody either. But I think that's what the gangs is trying to promote. Or no, I think that's how the gang started out in the '60s and the '70s. They started out to make it a family. They area, they hood a family, and we
Right.
take care of each other. That was some kind of way along the line, you know,
It got blurred. The lines got blurred.
it got turned into killing each other.
Right.
But I believe that was their base
Then,
foundation
yeah.
when they first started.
Yeah. Well, based on Tukey Williams, who was what one of the co-founders of the Crips, that's what he said it was about. It was protecting themselves from outsiders. You know, protecting the neighborhood, similar to what we were doing.
Right.
So yeah, it started off that, but then it got commercialized. You got to remember, it got commercialized. Lil Wayne, Snoop Dogg, you know, some of them cats.
Yeah.
You know, so after that, it turned into something different,
Yeah.
morphed into a monster.
And yeah, and going into that's right on time to lead me into my first question for you.
Go ahead, definitely.
Um, something similar, kind of similar to that. Um, Often people wonder what was the motivation, or what was inside of somebody, or what was driven in somebody. So if I was to ask you who or what motivates you to do what you do.
Wow. There's quite a few. You know what I mean? There's quite a few individuals. Like my first initial motivation of why I do what I do and the way that I am, you know, came from, my upbringing, my surroundings, my first time actually meeting my siblings, you know. When I first met my siblings about 2, 3 years old. And to see that love wasn't based on how much you had. You know what I'm saying? It
Right,
was based on the connection that you had with the people around you. And from that time, I held on to, you know, doing what I can to make family and people whom I choose to be family um, grow and prosper together. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
so it is basically, like my wife, my grandchildren, my siblings, my 17th Ave family, all of those people, daughter, son, everybody, that's my motivation. All the people in my life that I love and care about that I want and wish the best for motivates me to be the best I could be,
right,
to be better than the status quo, to
right.
be so that's pretty much what it is that motivates me,
Good answer. Good answer.
you know.
Yeah.
So
and that's a good motivation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And because a lot of times many people get corrupted by the money.
Right,
Don't get me wrong, money is a necessity. And having money and knowing how to manage it and what to do with it makes your life lot it can make your life a lot more smoother,
yeah, it could.
you know? And on the same fact of having money and not knowing what to do with it can make your life stressful and hectic,
Right,
because we've seen those sides. We've grown up in a time where we had access to money at young ages, so we know what money can do and how money can make a situation better or it can make a situation worse. So, my motivation, yeah, is ultimately to have a financial comfortability for individuals, but my motivation is those people that I love and care about.
right. That's what's up. That's
You
what's
know.
up.
So what motivates you? What would you say motivates you?
Um, I think I think what really motivates me is kind of like a lot of things that was instilled in me, like when I was young. You know, like you said, meeting your siblings and stuff like that. I always I always been around people who I never been really been around lazy people. Um, I watch people work, make money, take care of themselves, buy homes, be secure, make families, take care of kids. You know what I mean? So I just never wanted to be I just never wanted to be in a position where I didn't have nothing. I never wanted to be in a position where I had to beg for something. I never wanted to be in a position, even a position for anybody around me, uh, to have to be begging for something or not knowing how to get it. So like that's what always motivated me is that I never wanted to be lacking.
Right.
I never wanted to be lacking. I never wanted to be the less fortunate. I always wanted to be the fortunate. I always wanted to be part of the upper echelon that within my
Right.
my realm and stuff like that. So
Yeah, definitely.
I just never wanted to be a person that had to beg for something. I wanted to always like make it happen myself. You know, and do for myself. So I just I always adopted different formulas to make me like that. I don't never want to be. I see people that's less fortunate and in bad situations, and I just never wanted to be like that. Never homeless, um, depending on somebody, begging for work. I just never wanted to be like that. So I set myself up a long time ago when we was young that we was gonna get money and we was gonna make it by any means necessary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we will go do what we have to do to get where we had to be,
Yep,
within reason,
within reason.
because of who we are as individuals. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, but definitely, I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see. I had this. Nobody didn't write anything today. Wow, only had a few people.
Yeah, still got time. If
Yeah.
they don't see it today, they'll see it tomorrow. We gotta keep the same energy.
Now, we all know that you represent AKA Mr. F Love. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And, you know, I would say probably 95, if not more, people are either in love, looking for love, or want love, you know?
Hmm.
So, with that being said, um, do you think there's any hope for people who are hopelessly romantic?
Um, See, a lot of times when we talk, well, I talk about that issue a lot, and then I started to think, man, I'm always talking about how relationships are failing and marriages are on the decline,
Right.
and I'm always talking that, but then you got to think, are you qualified to talk like that?
Okay.
So
Right.
going to Atlanta was a great experience for me. I got to go out and just had me all over the place. Maybe we probably went to like 9 or 10 lounges, and we got to mingle with the crowd,
Right.
females and guys, and talking and meeting people. And it was good. It was good for my mindset to to see what was going on. But
Right.
I will say that I after everything that I've seen and going to Atlanta 2 times in 1 month, and from what I know in Patterson and the people around my circumference, I still say that uh, love is in a bad state right now. Relationships, marriages, and love, they it's still in a bad state, man. And I could have came back, and it could have the trip down there could have changed my mind. I could have seen a lot of happy people. I could have seen a lot of togetherness and a lot of until we talk about relationships.
Right. 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 Right.
I could have seen a lot of that, but truth be told, I didn't. I seen the same thing that I be talking about. Marriages on the decline. Uh, People not taking relationships serious. Cheating at an all-time high. So nobody can tell me, it's the people I'm around because I don't went 18 hours away on a train. I don't know how many miles it is, but I don't went all the way to Atlanta, and and it's the same thing. Uh, Marriages, nah. Relationships, it's like a free fall, shot.
Mm.
But that don't mean it's gonna stay like that. And that's out of my what I seen.
That was that was
I'm just telling the truth though.
right. Right.
The truth hurts. I'm just telling you people what I saw. You know what I mean? Maybe I wasn't maybe I wasn't where loving couples are, where people don't cheat and everything. Maybe I wasn't in them, and maybe I need to go visit a couple of churches or something. Maybe maybe I need to go to some seminars or something. I'm just talking about where I was at.
Yeah. I mean, you said you were in some lounges and things of that nature. So, you know,
Cookouts.
right. And I think, you know, there's a reasonable and logical explanation for the reasoning why, you know, people are at such a odds, men and women,
Right.
because I think basically it's a lack of honesty.
Big time.
Because if you're cheating, that's being dishonest. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the key to why relationships are going through what they're going through. Because if you are unable to be honest, then you're going to be sneaking around doing certain things that you don't want to do with your part, or you may want to do with your partner, and they may want to do it with you. But because you and the partner are not able to be honest,
Yeah,
because like you said, honesty is based on truth. And sometimes the way you feel when you're being truthful, it can be hurtful.
yeah,
And even though that's not your intentions or a person's intentions, you still hurt a person. And once, see, and this is what I've experienced that to happen. If you hurt a person, you don't really want to hurt them. So now you'll find yourself holding back
right.
from telling the truth because you don't want to hurt the person. In reality, you're hurting the person more because you're holding back,
Yeah,
So I think that's what's happening in relationships. People are holding back in their relationships and they're letting go in their situationships. You know what I mean? They're being
yeah,
more comfortable in situationships than they are in their relationships. You know,
yeah. And
and then and
and
then
people,
the other part of it, I believe that people are looking for love prior to gaining a connection or building a friendship.
right.
You know what I'm saying? My concept is get into a woman's head before you get into in between her legs or into her bed. You know what I'm saying? That's what's missing. A lot of times it's straight for the bed, straight for between the legs, not getting into each other's head. So now once the sex thing wear down, you got nothing else. You move on to the next and the
That's
next and the next. So I think that's what we're missing. We're not really mentally and emotionally connecting with uh, our significant others or the ones we want to make our significant others. You know,
true. Yeah.
that's and that's my opinion.
No, that's a good opinion. That's a good opinion. Um, and that lead to another question. That everything is coinciding. So, because relationships depend on people way of life, and um, your culture means way of life.
Right, absolutely.
So, um, do you think that our cultural differences, um, do you think our cultural differences keep us apart?
Um, yes and no, kind of. Yes, because a lot of times when we as human beings see people do things differently than us,
Right,
we automatically, a lot of us, go into judgment mode. You know
right,
what I mean? Oh, why they doing that? That's nasty. That's not right. That's this type of thing.
yeah,
You know, and or that's not for me. And that's the difference. Is because that part is we're not embracing people differences because no, even in your own family, there are differences. People you grew up with, there are differences. And I think instead of us embracing the differences, we're ostracizing people for their differences. You know,
hmm,
now when I say, that's the yes part where we do separate. But now on another level, when it comes to music and food, we embrace different cultures.
Right.
You know what I mean? We embrace the cultures with food and music.
Right.
So if we can embrace the cultures with the food and music, then it's a matter of, okay, being able to open up, and again, the word, being honest, being open, and be able to talk to individuals about things that what they call stereotypes.
Right.
Like every nationality has a stereotype about another nationality.
Yep.
And the stereotypes may be true, but not maybe not. Because
Yeah.
it just may be your own perception of that nationality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, for years people say black people are lazy, black people are criminals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So different things like that. And then we used to say the white people was the devil. You know what I mean? Like so it's a lot of things that at the end of the day, if we are able to start sitting down, opening up, because it's sad when we are all share a land together and we address ourselves as white and black people or Puerto Ricans, and you know what I'm saying? And I get that culturally. You know, culturally we are different.
Yeah.
However, the diversity, if I believe, my opinion, if utilized correctly, can benefit everybody. Because everybody's here on this earth because everybody has something to offer.
Right.
So if we are willing to find our lane, stay in our lane, and utilize our lane to enhance humanity, to enhance, you know, the earth and everything in it, then I think, you know, those cultural differences will be more of an asset rather than a separation, you know? So,
Right.
you know, so that's you know, that's my opinion about that, you know?
Yeah.
So
It all boils down to it all boils down to the way of life. Um what you striving for? Um what are you accepting? Um what are you looking for in life? Um what are you as an individual looking for in life? Um Cultures might always keep different nationalities apart, maybe, until we um like you said, we could do it with music,
right,
we could do it with food, you
right.
know what I mean? But until we move beyond that, it's always gonna be a problem. That's what I think, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's acceptance. Like a lot of times, I think we have problems accepting things that are different.
Right,
You know, things that we may not necessarily do or necessarily like. If you know, because if okay, for example, I uh, for a person who may like chocolate cake, you know, they get chocolate cake, they eat chocolate cake. But
yeah,
for a person who don't like chocolate, they're not gonna like chocolate cake. And they're gonna be like, oh, you can eat that, you eat that, why you eat that? You know?
yeah,
So it's based on our preferences. We all have a preference. We all, like you said, we have aspirations, what we aspire to, you know, what we want to see and what we want to do with our lives. And I think no matter what the culture is, we all have one thing in common. We all want to be loved, be happy, and be able to take care of our families and ourselves.
Right.
Those three things, if we all lock in on those three things, I think we can make the whole world a better place. You know,
Yeah.
and that's just my opinion.
No, that's what's up. Yep.
You know, so we actually getting up there, brother. We what you say, we're in the third quarter of our life right now. You know what I'm saying? The third quarter. So it's like, after that third quarter, we're in the fourth quarter. Then we closer to the curtains closing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, with that being said, you know, being that we close to the retirement age, what advice would you give young people who are rapidly approaching that age? You know,
That's good. That's a good one. Young people, they need to, number one, they need to save money. I don't really want to say less partying. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be a hypocrite.
right, right, right.
Because we went out. First of all, we met up on the block every day when we was young.
Absolutely,
I remember I used to come home from work and snatch my clothes off and run up to the block. I don't know
absolutely.
why, but that's
That was
I,
it. That
Monday,
was
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Soon as wasn't nothing in the house. I just took my clothes, changed my clothes, my uniform, threw something on, and right to the block.
it.
Um, and then getting ready for the weekend and stuff like that. I don't want to say less partying. Maybe more consciousness
Okay.
about partying and the things you do. And the things you do when you partying. Um, but the number one thing I think I would tell people, the number one thing I would tell people is save money, and if don't make a lot of children. Um, if you're not ready to be a
Unless you're making a lot of money to go with them
unless
children.
you uh anybody can make a baby, but a lot of us at times we're not ready to be a father. So men and women don't have a lot of children. I would tell them save money, don't make a lot of children, and prepare yourself for the future by. I don't want to say the only way you can make it is to go to school. And I don't want to say the only way you can make it is working on somebody's job for 20 years. I would like to see more entrepreneurs, more self-made success stories. Um, find out what you do best. Find out what your gift is from God. Because I didn't write my first book until I was 48. So you got to figure. Imagine if I would have started writing when I was 20.
Right.
So writing is my gift from God. But think about it, or people listening or listening tomorrow, whenever you listen. I didn't start write my first book until I was 48. I didn't write my first movie until 2015. I wrote my first book in 2008. And I'm 61 now. Now I'm doing the podcast. Well, podcast wasn't around back then, but
Right.
I'm talking. You know what I mean? I could have wrote my first book at 18, 28. I mean, you was writing books and stuff, trailers for stuff like that, way earlier than me. But I would tell people to look inside. I would tell the younger generation, you got to look inside yourself and see what you do best. It was something I wanted to say. I wanted to say, and you should always get paid for something you do well. I heard somebody say that, and that stuck with me. You should always get paid for something that you do well in this world, in this lifetime. And I think we need the younger generation. We need to learn. They need to hear that more, and let it resonate in their mind. You, because it's a lot of things that people do well that you don't get paid for. We just sit around and let time pass us. Save money, uh, find out what your gift is, and always get paid for something you do well. And when you're ready to make a family, make a family. You know what I mean? When you're ready to make a family, make a family. That's what I would tell the younger generation. What about you?
Man, you pretty much covered just about everything, man. I mean, basically, like what you were saying, a lot of people make children when they're not emotionally, mentally, or financially prepared. What happens is, I think when they do that, now what happens is they're too busy trying to do what they need to do for the children till their purpose, because basically that's what you're saying, find out what you do well. That's normally your purpose. We all have a purpose.
Right.
Most times we go through life never knowing what our purpose is because too many distractions along the way, you
Yeah.
know, and
That's
and
true.
we and we miss out because time waits for no one. As you said, at 20, the things that we were doing, had our minds been geared in a different way, we could have been it would have been beneficial, more beneficial if we started early. However, we started when we started. Now, in hindsight, as you said, we can give that advice to young people because we've been that age. We've been 20. We've been
Right.
25. We've been 35. God willing, they get to our age.
Right.
But meanwhile, as you said, going out, hanging out, I mean, having a good time is just as important as working and saving money. You know what I mean? It's just as important. It's just that it needs to be managed or moderated, in a manner where it's not overdone. Because if you're going out every weekend spending two, $300 every weekend, you know what I'm saying? You add that up for the month. That's almost a G that you could have saved towards a house, towards a new car. You know what I mean?
Or child. Don't forget child support money.
Or a child unborn, or unborn child. You could have
Yeah.
been putting it away for an unborn child, even if you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully the young people that see this don't get caught up in the child support, era. You know what I mean? They meet someone, have a child or have some children, and they stay together and raise them children the way it was in the past. And you know, so yeah, I think you're absolutely right. More entrepreneurism, more utilizing our skills amongst each other where we can pay each other for our skills.
Yep.
You know, so I definitely agree with that method because in order to get to where we need to get, it's going to be necessary for us to become job creators. You know,
Yep.
so Yeah, man. I'm with you on the managing the money, the holding off on the children, and have a good time periodically.
Clean,
Being yeah,
clean,
being
clean fun.
yeah, be in control of what you're doing.
Yeah,
Don't allow yourself to get out of control when you're doing something just to have fun. Don't get out
right,
of control.
right,
That would be
right.
my suggestion to the young people.
I still got one more question for you. Um,
Fire away, brother.
um, a lot of times we have done things um and have hurt other people, not only in relationships with your significant other, maybe your parents, maybe your children, maybe a friend. You know what I mean? So with that being said, and this is an important word, forgiveness.
Mm,
Uh, in your words, is forgiveness for you or is forgiveness for the other person?
mm. Wow. Just being around a lot of different people, and a lot of people I see in pain. A lot of people I see angry, and I see people sometimes basically angry at a person. Letting the person occupy space in their mind and their heart, and have you know, this energy, and the person who they have the energy towards has no idea and is going on with their life.
Right,
You know what I mean? They're going on with their life like, you know, hey, que sera, sera. So with that being said, it's a thing of, I believe my opinion is that forgiveness is more for the person themselves by letting go what someone did to you. Not holding on to it, because at the end of the day, you can't control what a person do or say to you. We have no control over that.
right,
What we do have control is how we process it and how we internalize it, and what we do afterwards, after whatever happened or whatever is said. So for you to take on as an individual something that someone did to you and hold that poison, I like to say, inside of you, now you're poisoning yourself. You're creating an energy that is combating your own personal growth.
right,
You know, and most people that I've come across, they mostly believe in some type of religion,
right,
some type of higher power. So if you believe in some type of religion or higher power, that means you believe in a higher power that you want to be forgiven.
right,
So if you want to be forgiven, because none of us that's walking this earth have walked around and didn't do something that offended someone,
right,
something that caused someone pain, something that got someone angry, something that hurt someone. We all have been guilty of that. So if we all have been guilty of that, then it makes sense for us to be able to internalize that in a manner where we give a person the benefit of the doubt. That doesn't mean that if you feel a certain way about a person, you shouldn't speak to them and let them know that something they did offended you, something they did hurt you. I think because a lot of times many people avoid having those type of conversations because they're difficult to have,
Right,
they walk around with the anger and the pain inside of them.
right.
And don't get me wrong, there are some people that even when you do explain that they hurt you and cause you pain, they dismiss it. And that's on them. As long as you had the opportunity to explain how you felt and how they made you felt about a situation, then you can take those emotions and just, you know, toss them to the side and open yourself up for some new, better emotions, some new, better energy that's going to be more beneficial to your, to your life,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, in your own personal journey. So my opinion and my perspective is that forgiveness is more for the person that is doing the forgiving rather than the person who's receiving being forgiven. So that's my thing. I think it's more for the person to forgive the other person rather than the person to accept the forgiveness.
Yeah, that would be my answer right there.
You
That
know,
would that would be it because forgiveness is a forgiveness that that's a big thing, and everybody ain't gonna be able to forgive, or everybody ain't gonna be able to forget.
right?
You know, and sometimes pain is pain, and a lot of times people get caught up in thinking you could cut somebody with a machete and then put a band-aid on it. That don't work all the time. So you gotta look at it both ways. But I believe that you can't hold on to it. I believe if you hold on to it, then every day that's taking a little bit away from your life. Where not only your life, your happiness. Because when days you could be happy, you grieving over what somebody did to you. You know what I mean? When the person have already forgave theyself,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's your turn to forgive them. So why just every day you just if you think about it for 20 minutes a day, it's 24 hours in a day, and 30 minutes out the day, you thinking about what somebody did to you. That's 30 minutes out your life. You know what I mean? That you can't get back. Where you can put that energy into something positive. Making sure it don't happen again, or making sure it don't affect you again like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a big word. It's easier to say, than I guess, because we all a victim of it. I got things that I have been mad with people about. You know what I mean, or angry, or that I couldn't forgive them about. But I work hard and letting it go because I I talk to myself. And I know when I make mistakes. I know when I make mistakes. When you make a mistake, trust me, it's some kind of repercussion that you're gonna go through. Could be mentally, it could be physically. It could be conscious or subconscious. It could come back to you in another way and affect somebody else that's close to you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we all just gotta be bigger people and know in this world that life is not easy. We can't just blame the world; it's the people in it. And when we make a choice to share our life with somebody, when we make a decision to share our life with somebody, we got to know that things gonna happen. There's out of this our out of our,
Control. Yeah.
control, things that's out of our control, and hopefully if it's done once, it ain't done again, So
Yeah. Absolutely. And as you said, even forgiving somebody doesn't necessarily mean you forget what they did or how you felt about it. But as you said, you're not holding on to it. You're not carrying it with you, that energy every day of your life.
yeah,
You're carrying that energy with you and it's not positive energy. It's negative energy.
it's negative energy.
Right. If the law of attraction works and you feeling negative all the time, then you're going to keep creating more negative things towards you.
Right,
So, the law of attraction means, okay, let me let this go so I can welcome something much better,
right,
open myself up for something better in my life, because I'm letting go the negative energy. I'm moving forward to the positive energy because I want to grow. I want to expand. I
right,
want to be prosperous. I want to be happy, you know?
right.
So hopefully those who are listening, they get the opportunity because chances are you may need to forgive somebody or you may even need to forgive yourself. You know, sometimes that's one of the most difficult things too, to forgive yourself for allowing a person to do something, you know, and it's okay to be in pain
Yep.
and just realize that that's pain. And if you give it time, you can get through it. It's temporary. It doesn't have to last forever.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and unfortunately, most people when they either have pain or hurt, they allow anger to take over that.
Yep.
You know, far too often people get angry. So now once you're angry, guess what? Now you done call somebody else in pain and hurt. And that goes along with, I say with why relationships have a problem too. That's another reason. People got pain and anger,
Yeah,
hurt and pain. Hurt and pain turn to anger, and then that anger they unleash that anger.
that's true.
So that's the perspective that I see from it.
Yeah, we gotta do our
Yeah,
we
I'll
gotta do
close
our
it.
we got no we gotta try to we took a couple of weeks here and there. We gotta keep up with our weeks, and because sometimes people fall off because you're
Oh,
not
they
being
missed us. Right,
you're
right.
not
Oh,
being
we forgot to apologize to the people. Right,
yeah,
right. We missed a couple of shows, so we apologize to you guys. But the two of us, we have busy lives. We have things going on. Sometimes we have to take a little break from what we're doing. It doesn't mean we love you guys any less. You know what I'm saying? Just mean we have to, prioritize some other things and we don't be able to make it every week. And we ask y'all forgiveness for that, you know?
yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Like you said, we got our own lives, and we don't get paid for this. You know what I mean? We doing this out of love. So
Absolutely.
we try to be more consistent. And then if you don't see it tonight, you get to see it tomorrow. It'll be on YouTube and Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's about that time, brother. It came
Yeah.
and gone again, man.
Yeah, that time was good. Always a pleasure. It's always a good show. I'm gonna be on my Facebook Live at about 9:30, and my TikTok at jshawn763 at 9:30 for the my Keeping It Real show. So those of you who could stay up that late and come on over.
Okay. Did you hear that our brother Outlaw came home? I think I saw a picture of him.
No, where?
On the block, man. Him and Hadu and Malik and somebody else.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. See, Star sent me a picture.
And it's on who page it's on?
I don't know. I'm gonna send you the picture. I don't know who. I'm gonna send you the picture when we
Yeah,
get off here.
send me the picture.
Yeah, so I would imagine he's home. You know, he was supposed to came home. When I spoke to Malik the other time when I was up there, he made me aware. So I would imagine he's home.
Hey, that's a blessing, bro. That's a blessing.
Hadou's in there, and I heard Hadou's going through some changes, but he was looking good.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
good. Hey,
yeah, but yeah, man. We just thank you all for your time. We know you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here with us, and for that we're grateful. Until next week, same as always. Love, peace, and prosperity.
peace.
Peace.